Hello, welcome back to Canvas Conversations. My guest today has been rolling in the last few weeks, claiming several TKO victories in January. He is UFC newcomer Cory Sandhagen. Cory, I'm happy to speak with you today, sir. How you doing, my man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. You seem a little tired, or maybe like just kind of waking up, maybe.
I chill out on Sundays, bro. I try not to do anything. So I
Nice.
just watching stand-up comedy all day.
Got you. Okay. So squeezing me in between sets. I appreciate you, bro. So congratulations on the big debut victory, my man. How did it feel to get in there, get your first UFC fight, and win?
Oh, dude, it was so cool, man. Uh, I thought that I really loved fighting, and I always did really love fighting, but making that walk to the UFC cage was it was pretty unreal, man. It was different than anything I've ever done.
So you just seem like you're kind of a chill guy. Is that just your personality all the time?
Yeah, dude. I'm just relaxed. I'm a pretty timid person. I'm pretty quiet. I used to get teased a lot at the gym because when I first started, when I was a little bit younger, when I was like really timid, all the guys would just be like, "Man, Cory doesn't even say anything. He just comes in, whoops everyone's ass, and then he just leaves, and he's all business." And I was like, I just don't talk much.
That is an interesting character for a fighter, though.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I guess with how the loudmouths make it to the top the quickest and stuff, it's a little bit unusual, but yeah, I like it.
It's your own style, right? You gotta like it. You gotta own it, right?
Yeah.
It's done you served you well so far, right?
Uh-huh.
So kind of a great time to get the short notice call, just a week after a big TKO victory. How was that timing for you?
It was sweet, dude. Like I was super pumped. I thought that I was gonna get the call eventually in 2018, but I didn't think that it'd be in January. And I wanted to get in as soon as I can because I knew that I was ready after my last loss last year. I made a lot of corrections and I fixed a lot of things with my mental game and uh, just addressing a lot of fears and issues that I had before. So I knew that I was ready for the big show after making those corrections, and I'm pumped that it happened sooner than later because I wanted to go in a little bit younger, a little bit healthier than maybe in a year or two. Which it's a tough organization to get in with, and I was stressing out hard about how that was going to happen. I didn't know if it was going to be Contender Series or Ultimate Fighter Show or what, but it worked out, dude. I was pumped, man. I mean, you can only imagine, especially right after getting a TKO win in a little bit over a minute. It was just it was a good night, obviously. It
So how long after the fight did you get the call?
was about 5 minutes, man. I didn't even cut off my hand wraps. Me and Elliot and Christian were kind of just back there celebrating a little bit. Uh, and then the Arizona Boxing Commission came back and said, "Hey, man, UFC's on the phone if you want to talk to him." And I thought that they were just joking. I was like, "Uh-huh." And he was like, "No, here you go." And then they were like, "Hey, it's UFC. You hurt?" I was like, "No." They're like, "You want to fight next weekend?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to fight next weekend."
Oh
So
man,
yeah, dude, unreal,
beautiful.
right? Yeah, so
Yeah.
cool.
So how was it to tell your family and friends? I mean, you just get that big victory, but then come out from backstage and say, "By the way, the UFC just called."
That was cool. I had to keep it a secret for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just so I wasn't suspended or from the commission or whatever, however that works. But yeah, I had to keep it a little bit of a secret. I told my family members, and they were pumped. My mom started crying. My
Mm-hmm.
dad was like, my dad has no idea what's going on in the world or in UFC or in fighting in general, even though I've been doing it for 10 years, but he was excited too. So yeah, I had to keep it a secret, but yeah, I told my family. They were happy for me.
Oh, that's interesting that your dad doesn't really follow the sport at all.
Dude, neither one of them, my mom or dad, they don't know what's going on ever. Like you should hear their reviews of my fights. It's like, oh, like that guy seemed like he wanted to be close to you and you wanted to kind of be like away from him and striking. And I was like, man, you should commentate these, Dad. Like you're really good at this. He's terrible, man.
uh, you should probably not let him hit you in the face. That's not good. Looks like you're losing when that happens.
Yeah, that's it. That's how he does it.
Oh man, that's awesome though. Nonetheless, that's great. So I saw that a lot of people were saying on Twitter and kind of throughout Instagram that your style, your use of angles, kind of reminds everybody of TJ Dillashaw. But it looks like you actually know TJ Dillashaw. He posted a picture of you on Instagram, congratulating you. What was it like to get that recognition from him?
That was cool. Me and TJ have been buddies for a few years now. Um, Trying to think how old I was. I think I maybe just graduated college, so it was a few years ago now. But Dwayne and TJ flew me out to train at Alpha Male a couple times when TJ was getting ready for Barrow. And then when TJ moved out to Colorado, he was with us for a while, the Elevation Fight team. So we trained a lot out there. We're good buddies. When he was getting ready for Cruz, I obviously can move a lot like Cruz, so me and him trained a lot for that. But yeah, it's cool. TJ's a good dude, man. Like he's really helped get my name out there. He's done a lot of things for me, and I mean, I wasn't really able to repay him at that time, but he's a good dude. It was a good connection that I got, a good friend that I made through all of that.
So the recognition was pretty cool, pretty
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah, the recognition is cool.
Awesome, man. I bet that had to feel special, obviously. So how did you get your start in martial arts, and how did it turn into a career for you?
Yeah, so I've obviously been asked this a few times in my life, and I don't have any cool story for it, bro. Like I
That's
used to
okay.
watch, I used to watch the WEC a lot. Like I used to watch Cruz and Faber and Donald and trying to think Jose Aldo. I used to watch all those guys on the WEC because they used to play for free more than the UFC. So I knew about the WEC long before I knew about the UFC. But I'd watch these guys, and I was always kind of I was timid, but I was a little bit of like a physically aggressive kid. Like I didn't get in a ton of fights, but I really liked physical contact. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try this, and then signed up in high school. The basketball season was ending. I just kind of needed something to do the energy, use my energy with. So I signed up at Nate's gym, and then yeah, they were like, hey, you're pretty good at this. You should do a couple of fights, and I was like, okay, and that's kind of I just rolled with it for a while, and then I found out that I can make a life out of it. So so here I am.
So when did you start? How old were you when you walked into the gym the first time?
I started doing Taekwondo when I was, I think maybe I was 8, and I did that for a few years, and then I boxed a little bit when I was 10 until I think maybe I was about 12, and then I officially I started taking it a little bit serious MMA when I was 17.
That's kind of a cool story, man. Starting at 8, just working your way up, being a martial artist your entire life. That is a
Yeah,
cool story.
a little bit, but it wasn't really serious, you know. Like it wasn't like I didn't. I mean, obviously I was 8 to about 12, but I started taking it serious when I was about 17, 18, when I figured out that I was pretty good at it.
So are you from Colorado? Are you born and raised in Colorado?
Yeah, Aurora, Colorado. Um, Went to a really big high school. When moved up to the CU, or
What high school
moved up
did you go to?
to Smoky Hill.
Smoky Hill?
Uh-huh. Are you
Okay. Did
familiar
you
with
play
it?
any sports in high school? Yeah, I'm familiar. I went to Mullen, actually, so I'm very familiar
Oh,
with
right
Smoky
on, dude.
Hill.
Oh, okay. What year did you?
Yeah, yeah. 2007.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I was a couple of
A
years.
little before you, right?
Yeah, it was 2010, but yeah, I played basketball over there. I played basketball my whole life.
Oh, interesting.
Mm.
That's an interesting sport to play your whole life paired with MMA. I thought maybe you might have wrestled in high school.
Uh, no, I wanted to wrestle. Actually, that's a funny story. I wanted to wrestle, and I was like, "Hey, Ma, I think I'm done with basketball." Because really, basketball was just something again that I was just good at. That I was kind of like, "Yeah, I guess I'll roll with this." I asked my mom if I could wrestle, and she was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And then I think I showed her a match on YouTube, and she was like, "Do you have to wear one of those things that they're wearing?" And I was like, I guess I would have to wear that." And she was like, I think you're gonna play basketball again." And I was like, "Okay, I guess I'm playing basketball." uh,
The mom burn.
yeah, she wasn't about those singlets.
That's great.
Yeah,
I kind of already like your parents parenting with you already.
yeah, I'm talking about them a lot. They'll probably really appreciate that when they watch this.
So you went to high school and then at Smoky Hill, then you went on to Boulder to see you at Boulder. Then what happened?
I just got my psych degree, and then I was training up at Easton's when I was up in Boulder. Got my psych degree, moved back home for a little bit. Went to Holland to train for a little bit. Did a tournament in Italy. So I did like a little bit of the traveling thing, and then went home, lived there for a couple of years, and then moved out, got my own place, and I live with Bojan Veličković. And
Oh, awesome.
yeah, so he's the best roommate in the world too.
No complaints?
Oh, dude, he's like the clean. He's European, man, so he's like the cleanest dude
Yeah,
ever. They all know how to cook, so yeah, it's awesome. That was awesome.
that is awesome.
Yeah.
So, have you ever had any jobs outside of fighting?
Yeah, right now, yeah, I've had a good amount of jobs. I was a cook in high school when I was like 15. I worked at a daycare, but right now I'm working at a place called Mount St. Vincent's. It's in Denver. It's like a treatment facility for like traumatized kids. So kids, I mean, it's kind of like an orphanage. They just don't really call them that anymore. Um, but yeah, I work that like maybe 2 days a week. I don't do it too much, and then I coach at the gym and just do a bunch of privates, and that's how I've been getting by for a while. So
Awesome. So, what do you do with the kids over there?
pretty much to make sure that they don't kill each other. Um, no, I'm just kidding.
Just
I mean, they have like their trauma. I mean, they have histories of trauma, so they were kind of just dealt a bad card, and so my role there is to kind of just make it a little bit easier on them. Most days I'm like an assistant teacher. So we have like 8 kids maybe in a classroom, and then one teacher that leads, and then I kind of just jump around and help when they need help. So it's a pretty sweet gig. I
nice.
love that place. Yeah, it's taught me a lot about that area and that field of psychology, and then also a lot about myself too, which is cool.
Give back to the community a little bit as well, right?
A little bit.
So, I know that you can't really pick what happens next for you since this is only your second fight coming up in the UFC, but do you have any idea or plans on when or who you'd like to fight next?
Um, Having 2 fights kind of back to back like that, and having a fight in October, that wasn't too much of a break either. So I would like to take maybe like a month of kind of just working on stuff and getting better. I actually found out just the other day that I broke my thumb too after I got an X-ray, so I got to see how serious that is on Tuesday. I'm thinking it's not going to be a huge deal, but it'll probably put me out for for at least from contact for about a month. So I'll figure that out. Hopefully I could fight in May. I would like May or June. That way I could fight one more time later in the year, and then uh, knock out 2 more fights, and then yeah. I mean, I would love to fight as much as they want me to, but if this thumb is going to be jacked up, then I got to get that better first. So
You like to stay active?
yeah, I don't. I have like a big thing with I don't really like wasting time, and I don't really like feeling like I'm not doing anything with my life. So if I don't have a fight or if I'm not reaching for a goal, then that really messes with me, and I just don't like it. I like to keep the ball rolling, keep moving towards something,
Absolutely. Well, Corey, we're looking forward to seeing you keep the ball rolling, man. I appreciate your time today, sir, letting us get to know you a little bit.
and getting to know my parents.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I like your parents. I like you too, but I like your parents as well. All
Right on, man.
right, man. Well, I appreciate it. We'll be looking for you in there, man. Appreciate your time. Cory Sandhagen, everybody. Thank you, man.
Cool, man. Have a good day.
It's coming up, it must be personal.